Hi and welcome to the instructional video of the cab area for a Burstner Lyseo. This is the same for the whole of the 2020 range on the Lyseo Harmony line. So we'll talk you through the actual components of the cab area, and then the rest of the motorhome will be in a separate video. So just around the cab area, moving to the back of the passenger door, you will see just behind the passenger door the fill up point for your diesel, which is lockable with the vehicle key, and below that is an AdBlue tank which you fill up, which will take roughly around about 25 litres. That doesn't need to be filled up every time you fill up with diesel. The engine will warn you, you'll get a display on the dashboard and it will count down. Put that in, it's available at petrol stations, either in canisters, or some are now available from pumps. It's not, like I say, something that you need to do every time. You will get a warning and it'll count down from around about 1,000 miles. The bonnet pull is on the side, passenger side of the dashboard. Pull that lever from there. Your bonnet will release and your bonnet catch is just to the right hand side of the Burstner side, and that pops up from there. Pull the lever and that locates directly into that red housing. Underneath your bonnet you've got your jump start points if required. That's hidden behind this cap. Lift that cap, positive terminal goes onto there, negative terminal goes onto here. Standard stuff, we've got your brake fluid, summer coolant and winter antifreeze. Power steering fluid is within here. Those are released and accessed by removing these caps. And then we've got your washer jet fluid here. Now this pops off and then there's a device that pulls out and then enables you to fill it up simpler. You then got your oil, and then just in front is the dipstick, which is this red lever which you lift up for the dipstick for your oil. You'll also find on here your chassis number. Okay, so inside the cab we have standard switchgear. So on the left hand side we have your indicators, and on the right hand side we have your windscreen wipers, and then also on this collar is a trip button. You press that trip button and that will change the display on your dashboard. Steering wheel controls, up and down on the radio for volume, mute, answering your phone and ending the call, and searching for your various stations. Also you have cruise control to turn on, twist the outer collar to activate. Once you're traveling at a certain speed, push up and it will set at that speed. If you take your foot off the accelerator, it will slow down, but then when you let go, it will speed up, sorry. But then when you let go of the accelerator, it will then drop down back to the speed it was set. If you press the brake, it will turn it off. To deactivate it, turn to the 0 position. If you turn it down, then that is then your speed limit. Whatever speed you're going on, press up and it will set it at that speed. It won't then let you accelerate past that speed limit that you've set it at. Horn is built into the middle. On the right hand side you've got adjustment for your headlights, height adjustment depending on your load, your rear fog light which is there, and then your start stop which you can turn off from there if you no longer want it. The mode button, when the vehicle is stationary and the handbrake is applied with the ignition running, will basically allow you to change the settings on your clock, date and things such as that. It will also enable you on that to turn off the passenger airbag should you wish. That's basically for if you've got any rear facing child seats. The light directly above that, and you turn the ignition on, if you've left your habitation door step out, that will come on to warn you that you've left the step out. On the driver's door we've got your passenger and driver's windows, they're electric. And then in front of that, we've got electrically adjusted mirrors. Point it to the mirror that you want it to operate and then use the joypad. You've got your upper passenger mirror, your lower passenger mirror, and then on the opposite side, the same way for driver. Your fuses for the vehicle are located here, roughly where your driver's knee would land. The vehicle battery is actually housed on the passenger side underneath this compartment here, and you'd remove that if you needed ever to access the vehicle battery. On each of your driver and passenger seat, you've got height adjustment. If you lift this one, it lifts the back of the base of the seat up, and if you lift this one, it lifts the front of the seat up. It goes from there. You've got armrests, and you've got adjustment for your armrest, which you twist there, and that will set the height differently for where your armrest sits. This particular one's an automatic. If you're selecting the gear, you must press brake, and then that'll enable you to move down to park, reverse, neutral, or drive. It will always want you to leave it into park. And your driver's mode is for economy, normal, or power. The buttons below, we've got your traction control. This has got traction plus fitted to it. Basically, if you push that, it will activate it straight away. If you leave it, then if the wheels start to spin, it will activate automatically. One next to it is hill descent control. If you push that when you're going downhill, it will work with the ABS and the traction to hold that and hold it in gear. You've got your hazard lights in the centre. Next button is to internally lock or unlock the vehicle. If you do have an alarm fitted to it, that will basically just operate the locking mechanism. It won't actually operate the alarm. And then the next one is for your heated wing mirrors. This light here isn't a button. That will just indicate if you've turned off your passenger airbag. Next, you've got your USB charging point and your 12-volt charging point. Those are from the vehicle and will operate when the vehicle's ignition is running. It will only operate for a small time after that ignition has been turned off. Cup holders in there, glove box inside there, and then you've got an additional glove box which is in here, which you'll also notice has got 2 USB leads. Those are to link to the entertainment system in the cab, which is if you're going to use the system with Apple CarPlay or anything as such like that, or link in for charging. This unit does need to be turned on if you're wanting to charge though. You've got your direction of your fan on here, which you adjust accordingly to the direction, and then also on this part you can adjust for air intake or recirculation. The next one is temperature, and then finally you have this button above, which is for air conditioning on or off. Now the entertainment unit is wired through the leisure battery. That entertainment unit, basically Burstner do rewire that through the leisure battery, so the only charge that that's coming from is from the actual vehicle battery, not from the vehicle battery, I apologise. So on this unit, it's dead simple, on and off from there. You can choose which station you wish to store by holding the button, and it will then store that station. If you press source, it will toggle between each of the different settings, so DAB, digital radio, FM, auxiliary. You can then select medium wave if you want as well from there. You can select to play Bluetooth music and things such as that. You do have an easy column by pressing on that, and you can select which one rather than cycling through the source. This has also got a rear view camera which will automatically switch on when you flick it into reverse. Other than that, if the ignition's running, you can choose to turn the rear view camera view on, but the ignition needs to be running for that because the camera is powered from the vehicle ignition. If you want to pair your phone to this, you press the phone signal with a little picture of the Bluetooth and press from there. Press the little cogs at the top, press connection, and then press search. It will search for any Bluetooth devices. Just ensure that your Bluetooth device is turned on for one that you're wanting to pair to. It will run a search that might take a minute or so, and then it will come up with a list of any Bluetooth devices that are there. But like I say, ensure that you've turned your Bluetooth on your phone, and you're in the settings, if it's an iPhone, to connect and to make itself visible. Once it's there, you will press the one that it's actually looking for. So for instance, if it's an iPhone and it's named iPhone, press that iPhone. It will then come up with a pair code. Accept it on your phone, accept it on here, and then it will ask if you want to share your contacts, and it will then just download everything from your contacts onto there. Once that's done once, you won't need to do it again. You press the home button on the right hand side, it takes you to this screen. It allows you to sort of choose any of the settings, whether you've got any apps that are linked through your phone and things such as that. For navigation, you press the Navi button on the bottom left hand side. You've also got that button, which is an actual physical button on there as well if you just want to go direct. That will then load up the sat-nav software. Once it's downloaded that software or brought up that software, you will then be able to put in the vehicle details, which initially you'll do once. After that, you won't really need to do again. It is camper specific, so it will enable you to choose the vehicle measurements, and then should only take you into the areas that those vehicle measurements have been put into. To input an address, click address. Town or postcode is where you want to select, and select that button. You can then put in the postcode. Push to select, and then select. It will always then give you a preview of the area that you're going to. You can zoom in or out, and it gives you an idea of where fuel stations are and things such as that. Select as the destination, as long as you're happy with where that is, and then it will then indicate how long, how far it is. So this is our postcode, so it's 40 meters away it's showing, and the time to destination is 0. It will always then show the time of arrival, estimated time of arrival, how long you've got to go in the journey, and how far you've got to go in the journey. Initially, upon your initial setup, we'll have already, in many cases, loaded up the vehicle information, but you click onto settings, and your easiest way is going on to start configuration wizard. You can choose the voice of who
Have
you
a
wish
nice trip, drive carefully.
Of who you wish to tell you where to go, and then cycle through whether you want kilometers and meters, miles per gallon, things such as that. Whether you want motorways, cycle down whether you want to use toll roads, what the type of vehicle is, camper, and go from there. Click next, says that it's completed, click finish, and then that saves it from there. If you want to put the vehicle measurements or change the vehicle measurements at any time, click route preferences, click camper, this bottom right hand button, and click edit. It will then bring you these options up. You can then click that one, move down, and it will show the vehicle length, width, height, axles and things such as that. Simply click on that, put the measurement of the vehicle in there. So for instance, if it's a 690, then 6 meters 99, so on and so forth. If you're going to run with a trailer and things such as that, and go from there. You can set your speed limit, various things, maximum weights and things such as that. Once you've done that, just press back and it's automatically saved. Click done, and away you go. It's nice and straightforward from that point. You've got additional features like we said earlier, so you can have Apple CarPlay and things such as that, but it will need to be linked through the USB. You can toggle with various different buttons. Ultimately, there are full details of instructions on here, but this is just a very quick guide in terms of how everything operates. Finally, we've got your microphone, which is linked for when you're on Bluetooth. Okay, so that's it with the entertainment unit in the cab area. Also in the cab on the Burstners, we have these Remis cab blinds to operate those, pinch those together, and those pulls too. Those are on a magnet and those will hold together. You will see this part which slides back and that's to go around the rear view mirror. Just ensure that when you're pushing them back that they've locked in and that they're locked in properly. You've got the same on the driver and the passenger cabs. Just let those fall into position. They are quite delicate because they need to store away quite thin, but then those basically lock to, and then that gives you the privacy from there. Finally, in the cab, we've got on your seats, you've got the bar which allows you to slide the seat back and forth, and then this handle which is on the passenger side, and then on the driver's, which basically you pull, and then that releases the swivel. When it's facing backwards, it just free rolls, but when it faces forwards, it locks in and locks in from there. On all the Lyseos, you will see these vents. These vents will have small nicks in them, and those are basically to release small pockets of air into the cab area to give you that sort of break from that cold of the windscreen hitting the warm air. Okay, so that's everything on the cab area. If there's any other questions, please feel free to give us a call, or there are the full instructions in each of the Fiat manuals. Thank you.